Owner Jason Mulder will help you select just the right shed and custom build on your lot. This Valentine's Day, think outside the box. Think Best Way Portable Buildings just north of the old Panama City Mall on Highway 231. And say hello to Best Way Buddy on your visit. The friendliest pooch in all of Bay County. Right, buddy? Right. It's Best Way Portable Buildings.
Discover Kia at Billburn Kia during the President's Day sale going on all month long. Are you looking for a fuel-efficient SUV that doesn't compromise on style, comfort, and performance? Stop in today at Billburn Kia and let our team put you behind the wheel of your new Kia. Billburn Kia is now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento. Billburn Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillburnKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento with $1,748 per month per $1,000 financed in 60 months. Qualities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billburn Kia warranty. See dealer for complete detail. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/3/25.
Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN+, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Lucid Stream TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200+ entertainment and news networks, or watch 10,000 movies on demand, including recent theater releases. Just $42 a month when you use the promo code ESPNNW at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Lucid Stream TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Lucid Stream TV logo.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bet.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Wednesday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 in Panama City Beach, Panama City, all of our wonderful surrounding areas, 101.9 down there in Port St. Joe. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, that's where you can find us. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You can see and listen and go back after the fact. Our 3 great local shows, the Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9, Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and of course, the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. You can also head on over to your Google Play or Apple Store, depending on what kind of device you have. Search 104.3 if you already don't have our free mobile app downloaded. If you do, we appreciate it very much, and you obviously know the deal. But if you don't, just head on over to those stores, search it up, download it. When you open it up, you just click that play button, and you have live streaming right here from ESPN Northwest Florida. Last but not least, if you're tired of paying more now for all your streaming services, everybody seems to be going up. We're catching up to the old cable and satellite prices that everybody switched to streaming but hey, now you can switch from one streaming to another stream, and that's Lucid Streams TV. You can head over to our website, like I said, ESPNPC.com. You scroll down till you see that TV channel icon. Click on that icon, follow the prompts. It'll get you going for Lucid Streams TV, which is about $42 a month. I guarantee that's at least half of whatever the main streaming service you're using, except this one's got even more than what you're paying for. You've You've got over 2,000 streaming channels on demand. You've got all the local news, all the local sports, all the regional stuff, all the NHL, all the NBA, all the MLB, which is coming up very here shortly. And then once we get back into football season, got all the NFL as well. Of course, it's also got over 10,000 movies on demand, new and old, and vintage and classic, all those wonderful things. Again, that's Lucid Streams TV. You can find the link to that on our website, espnpc.com. David, how we doing?
Scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 10 this afternoon.
Ooh, I like it.
Morning, almost the afternoon.
Yeah, we got about
58 minutes, 57 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like, I got some royalty in the building with you wearing the that's old Michael Jordan jersey.
Yeah, I got Michael Jordan on this.
Got the GOAT in the building.
Really, all I got is GOATs when it comes to basketball jerseys. Reggie Miller, Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan. And Reggie Miller, maybe not a GOAT, but for me, he's my
absolutely.
greatest of
Grown
all
up
time.
as a Pacer fan, no doubt. And your Kobe Bryant jersey, if I recall correctly, is that sweet blue one,
Yeah,
right?
it's the blue LA jersey.
Yeah, very, very,
But
very
I do want to get eventually a purple one. I think that I've made up my mind now when I'm getting jerseys, it's only going to be retired players.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. And retired very good players, nonetheless.
Well, that's where we're at right now. But there's still players who are those obscure players, that you grew up liking, like Grant Hill. I would say that he's a really good player, but give me one of those sweet teal Detroit Pistons jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. There's a lot of places to find jerseys where you don't have to pay the Fanatics or whatever companies in charge of everything now pricing.
And then on top of that, where I get my jerseys from, we don't need to disclose all of that information, but they come stitched, right?
Yeah.
Like if you get a Fanatics jersey, you wash that thing, and then you're losing the numbers. So it is one of those things. Man, I could talk about jerseys all day long.
I can tell you got you a little fired up there.
Yeah, well, I don't have any jerseys right now. I have one. I have one jersey that is current player who's playing on the team when I got his jersey.
Gotcha.
All of my Titans jerseys, none of them play for the team anymore. My most prized possession Titan jersey is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Can't really even wear that anymore without just feeling like dadgummit. But I'm happy for him being on the Baltimore Ravens. But Ronald Acuna Jr. is my only. And last year, he was injured for half the year. So
he basically wasn't on the team last year, so to speak, in a loose term. A little worried about the Braves this year. I feel like the offseason we lost more than we gained, but
but it was role players,
That's true.
And
we got a lot of people coming back from injury.
I think the player that we're going to miss the most is going to be Travis d'Arnaud.
Yeah.
Because we had such a great tandem with our catchers.
Yep.
But that also gives Sean Murphy, provided he stays healthy, a bigger role on the team, because Travis d'Arnaud's bat would get hot, and then all of a sudden you're seeing him for 5-6 games in a row. And so Sean Murphy's not able to play as much. Matt Olson, if he steps back up, which even last year, it was a down year compared to his first year, which was an MVP caliber year. So you can't expect that every single year. Ronnie stays healthy. Ozzie stays healthy. I still wish that we would have made a splash at shortstop, but there wasn't too many pools that we could jump in to make that happen. Willie Adames was the best free agent out there. He goes to the San Francisco Giants. I don't think that we would have or should have paid the amount of money that he ended up getting paid. Third base, Austin Riley, stud.
Yep.
Left field now, you're going to have Jurickson Profar and Jared Kelenic playing over there. Center field, you still got our guy Money Mike out there, and then right field around May or so, you're going to get Ronald Acuna Jr. back, Spencer Strider. Does Chris Sale have the same type of year that he had in 2024? If he does, then it's really just about filling that hole of Max Fried, which Max Fried, all-star pitcher, no doubt about it, got the bag from the New York Yankees, but I think that with AA and the way that his mind works, he's replaceable to an extent.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, everybody's replaceable to an extent.
But you can replace them with people who are replacements instead of,
Yes. A good movie, too, by the way, The Replacements.
Right.
Fantastic movie.
Shane Falco.
Yeah, Shane Falco, Keanu Reeves. Forget the name of the coach. I mean, his real name in real life. But yeah, no, another good movie. I'm going to start with an interesting off-topic sport this morning. So if you're not a hockey fan, I don't really care. But anyway, a big event gets started tonight and that is the Four Nations face-off. Gets underway starting tonight. We'll talk a little bit about the teams, the rosters, but I do want to mention a statistic, so to speak. As the Four Nations face-off starts tonight, there is no one under more pressure than old Team Canada. The tournament begins tonight in Montreal, home ice for the team favored by BetMGM to win the whole thing. Add in a drought of international success, the scrutiny turns up beyond 10 to a number 11. Something that might help? A goalie, which can paper over any team's trouble for a playoff run. And yet, as James Myrtle and Dan Robinson illustrated in a really cool piece, and if you're into hockey, I would suggest reading it. It's from The Athletic, just talking about kind of where Canadian goalies have gone in the last several years, and some of the points from this article that I thought were very interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm a hockey fan, love hockey, played hockey, watch hockey, and one of my favorite athletes of all time, Martin Brodeur, was certainly a Canadian. But Canadian goalies account for just 26% of the goalies playing today in the NHL.
They're all Russian, ain't they?
Down from 73% in 1995. So, a drop from 73 to 26 in 30 years. A Canadian goalie has won just one of the past 8 Vezina trophies. I used to be able to say that a lot better.
Isn't it Vezina?
Vezina trophies, yes. Why am I reading it like that? Brodeur won a couple of those. Heading into the 93-94 season, Canadians had won 62 out of 67. Wow. Why? The answer is training. Though that in itself is complicated, other regions of the world have poured money into coaching in coaching and goaltending. Yes, there's a massive strategy difference as well. That's one thing that always intrigued me watching Brodeur play up. He was kind of the first guy to play with the butterfly style, and obviously Dominik Hasek played a very different style. But and that's one thing you don't realize, that there's different styles. It's kind of like basketball, right? NBA, we're seeing a lot more international players, different style of basketball internationally, different style of hockey in different places of the world, especially on the goaltending side of things. Europeans, Russians, Scandinavians, and even Americans are catching and passing Canada in the goalie game. For most of them, there's a basic through line. These countries allow young players to train at multiple positions, not siloing them as goalies from the onset of their youth career. In Canada, tradition clashes with modern insights. Cross-ice play and smaller nets for young players have proven successful for development, but officials have run into resistance among traditionalists. It has harmed their goaltending development efforts. All this in a country that's been the forefront of hockey for generations. It's not like there's a lack of talent either, as outside the goalie spot, the Canadian roster is absolutely stacked. But just thought that was interesting, to see that kind of drop in 30 years. And, you see other parts of the world kind of catching up, especially on the goaltender thing. But just wanted to bring that up, as I thought myself personally. Hopefully somebody else found it interesting as well. But getting into the Four Nations face-off tournament, the actual tournament is going to be played in accordance with NHL rules. Each team will play 3 tournament games in a traditional round-robin format. Under the following point system: 3 points for a win in regulation, 2 points for an overtime win or shootout, and 1 point for an overtime loss and shootout. Obviously 0 points for a loss in regulation. The 2 teams with the best tournament record will advance to a 1-game final.
So what are the 4 nations that are facing off here?
Glad you asked. We've got Canada. I'm going to go through their roster real quick. Sam Bennett from the Florida Panthers. Anthony Cirelli from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Let's go.
Sidney Crosby from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Brandon Hagel from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah,
Hagel. Seth Jarvis from the Carolina Hurricanes. Travis Konecny from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, Konecny. That's I got Caveman Rick a jersey of his way back. Like, how awesome is that he's still on the Flyers?
Yeah,
man? Especially in the world of hockey, right? Like, you pay your superstars, and then outside of that, your third and your fourth linesmen are guys that are kind of interchangeable, and they don't normally stick with teams for too long. Yeah,
and they bounce around, typically role players, different things. And they obviously, this is where it really kicks. I mean, they're all good, but Nathan MacKinnon from the Colorado Avalanche, Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins, Mitch Marner from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Connor McDavid from the Edmonton Oilers. It's basically an all-star team. Braden Point from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Sam Reinhart from the Florida Panthers, and Mark Stone from the Vegas Knights. Those are all your offensive players. Defensemen, you got Drew Doughty from the Los Angeles Kings, Cale Makar from the Colorado Avalanche, Josh Morrissey from the Winnipeg Jets, Colton Parayko from the St. Louis Blues, Travis Sanheim from the Philadelphia Flyers, Shea Theodore from the Vegas Knights, and Devin Taves from the Colorado Avalanche. Your goaltenders are Jordan Billington from the St. Louis Blues, Aiden Hill from the Vegas Knights, and Sam Montembeault from the Montreal Canadiens. So pretty solid roster there. Like they said in the article about the goaltending, kind of drops off a little bit there. You just haven't had as many of those Canadian goaltenders be at the forefront.
It's really turned into like a Russian position.
Yeah. No doubt. Even some American names getting some love in there. All right, yeah.
I'm kind of excited for some of the other countries though, and you pronouncing their names.
Yeah. Buckle up, everybody. This is going to be interesting. Now I do know some of them, but some of them I do not know.
Well, that's why don't ask me to read them.
All right, here we go. Finland.
Okay,
that's one of the other teams.
I'm so strong.
Well, the first one's easy. He's from the Carolina Hurricanes, Sebastian Aho.
Yeah.
And then we've got Joel Armia from the Montreal Canadiens, Alexander Barkov from the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
These are all forwards. Mikhail Granlund from the Dallas Stars, Eric Haula from the New Jersey Devils. It's either Rope or Ropey Hintz from the Dallas Stars.
It's probably Ropey, but I like Rope better.
Yeah, Rope Hintz. And then you've got Kako from the Seattle Kraken, Patrick Lane from the Montreal Canadiens.
That's American as all get out.
It sounds like now it's Patrik.
Yeah.
So there's your Finnish
Yep.
Dialect or whatever you want to call it in there. Arturi Lehkonen from the Colorado Avalanche, Anton Lundell from the Florida Panthers, Eetu Larastarin, he's from the Florida Panthers as well, Mikko Rantanen from the Carolina Hurricanes, and then Tuevo Teravanian from the Chicago Blackhawks. Your defensemen are Henry Jakaharu, S.A. Lindell, Ali Mata, Nico Mikola, Nicholas Montipalo, Urho oh man, that's a tough one. And I've heard him pronounce this. It's Vanaken, I believe, but it's Vakanen. Vakanen. I just know him from the Rangers. And then Uriso Valimaki is your last defenseman from the Utah Hockey Club. Your goalies are Kevin Lankinen from the Vancouver Canucks, and then Ukko Lukinen from the Buffalo Sabres, and then UC Saros from the Nashville Predators. All right, it should get easier as I continue on these last two teams, as there's only 4 nations. Next, we got the Swedish team, and it starts with Victor Arvidsson from the Edmonton Oilers, Jesper Bratt from the New Jersey Devils, Leo Carlson from the Anaheim Ducks. A lot of Ericssons and Carlsons on the Swedish team. Joel Eriksson from the Minnesota Wild, Philippe Forsberg from the Nashville Predators, which I believe is Peter Forsberg's son, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
Adrian Kempe from the Los Angeles Kings, Elias Lindholm from the Boston Bruins, William Nylander from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Gustav Nyquist from the Nashville Predators, Elias Pettersson from the Vancouver Canucks, Lucas Raymond from the Detroit Red Wings, Rickard Rakal from the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Mika Zibanejad from the New York Rangers. Defensemen, you've got Rasmus Andersson from the Flames, Jonas Brodin from the Wild,
Raspanen, a raspy voice, Ryan Mulvey on the line.
I just can't shake this. That's why Keith's not joining us today, because he can't handle it.
Is that, the pollen? Well, I don't even know if
pollen's brutal right now.
Is it brutal?
I've seen my car, which is black.
Yeah.
And it's,
so you see it better
I
on
see
that.
the yellow tint on there, but hopefully we got some rain.
Free window tinting.
No doubt. Yellow tint, if that's what you prefer.
Hey, there you go, man. It blends in with the sun.
There you go. Rasmus Dahlin from the the Buffalo Sabres, Matthias Ekholm from the Edmonton Oilers, Gustav Forsling from the Florida Panthers, Victor Hedman from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
There we go.
Big-time defenseman there. Erik Karlsson from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Goaltenders, you got the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender, Samuel Ersson, and then you've got Philippe Gustafsson from the Minnesota Wild, and Linus Ullmark from the Ottawa
Those
Senators.
are three pretty good goaltenders right there.
No doubt. That could keep Sweden in some of these early round games. And then, of course, the United States of America. You've got the forwards. You've got Matt Boldley from the Minnesota Wild, Kyle Connor from the Winnipeg Jets, Jack Eichel from the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Jake Guentzel from the Tampa Bay. A lot of Tampa Bay Lightning players.
This is his first year with the Lightning. He was with the Carolina Hurricanes, but when we lost Steven Stamkos to the Predators, that was a big signing for the free agency period.
Good signing, no doubt.
He's really come into his own over the last few weeks. So,
well, he's on that U.S. team, so hopefully he has a good four nations. It's a couple weeks, it's not too long. Jack Hughes from the New Jersey Devils.
Wait, so are they going to be missing games?
Yeah, so they
NHL games?
gave him a break. That's why there's no regular NHL games right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the All-Star break with the NHLPA and all that. They agreed to break during the Four Nations. So, interesting.
What are they going to do for the NHL All-Star break, which should be coming up, like February 16th, right?
It'll probably be right after it, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And then this time next year, you'll have the Winter Olympics.
Nice.
There's a lot of international hockey going on, which I love international. I love true Olympic international hockey.
Yeah.
The rink size is different.
Well, it's going to be
different
different with this, like watching international hockey, but NHL rules.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't see that very often. Real quick, finishing up with the USA roster, Chris Kreider from the New York Rangers, Dylan Larkin from the Detroit Red Wings, Austin Matthews from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Man, you could see some lines like Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes, Austin Matthews, all in one line would be pretty special. JT Miller from the New York Rangers, Brock Nilsson from the New York Islanders, Brady Tkachuk, which is Keith Tkachuk's son from the Ottawa Senators, and is Matthew Tkachuk is his son too, I believe. You know, that's a hockey family right there. And then Vincent Trocheck from the New York Rangers. Defenseman, you got Brock Faber from the Wild, Adam Fox from the Rangers, Noah Hannafin from the Knights, Charlie McAvoy from the Boston Bruins, not to be confused with Roy McAvoy, Jake Sanderson from the Ottawa Senators, Jacob Slavin from the Carolina Hurricanes, Zach Werenski from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Your goalkeepers for the Team USA, Connor Hellebuck from the Winnipeg Jets, Jake Ottinger from the Dallas Stars, and Jeremy Swayman from the Boston Bruins. Three pretty solid goalies on that one as well. It gets started tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. Will all be in the Bell Center in Montreal. Tonight it kicks off with Canada versus Sweden. That'll be 7 p.m. Central Time Zone here. It'll be on Max, True TV, TNT. And then tomorrow night is the U.S. debut, U.S. versus Finland. That'll also be at 7 p.m. on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and of course on some different networks as well in the Canadian area. And then Saturday, February 15th, got a little matinee between Finland and Sweden, and then U.S.-Canada for some primetime hockey coming up on Saturday night at 7 p.m. on ABC or ESPN Plus. And then the play continues on the 17th at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. That's Canada versus Finland, Sweden versus the United States, and then the teams with those best records will face off in the championship game on Thursday, February 20th at 7 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. So if you're a hockey fan and you love international hockey, as I do, you'll be able to see some really cool games and some fun stuff coming up tonight, Canada versus Sweden. When we get back, it'll be time for our middle school boys basketball update. Chris Fall will be joining us in studio to update everybody on standings, recent results, players of the week, and all that awesome stuff. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
You know the traditional, when you win a big game, you take the toilet paper and you roll the trees. There's a place they do it.
Yeah, and so Toomer's Corner, this little wrap around it, the extra thing of toilet paper, and it said Toomer's Corner on it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I use that for?
To roll
To go to the bathroom.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a high of 75 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the south. A variety of very light rain and some clouds tonight, a moderate breeze and quite warm near 68. A chance of thunderstorms and 72 tomorrow. 69 and some sun with a gentle breeze Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
We're betting the limit and covering the spread. The Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Thank you. Nice to be in Vegas.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach. And we're going to talk some local middle school boys basketball with Chris Fall. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Doing good. Absolutely excited to hear some updates. We had a bunch of games yesterday, but where do you want to start? You want to start with anything from last week? I've already recapped all the scores. You just want to jump into what transpired yesterday?
Yeah, real quick, can we give a shout out to some of the high schools still rolling?
Of course.
So locally, we've got Graceville, Coach Gates and Coach Yeager playing tonight. We've got Bluntstown, Coach Nichols up there running a very big game, and Port St. Joe. All of those teams made the high school playoffs, and obviously Bay here locally. So all four of those guys or those teams are going tonight locally, and really exciting games. I think all of them have a legitimate shot of advancing.
And I think Rutherford girls too are they're still rocking and rolling. But yeah, Port St. Joe had a fantastic season this year. We've been kind of keeping up with them a little bit, but yeah. Players of the week from last week, you want to touch on them first, or you want to kind of jump right into
and I apologize that last week just slammed at work, so sorry we missed that.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, some days.
Mardi Gras, all that stuff coming up. Here we are in February, halfway through almost.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, real quick, let's update those standings, post these on Facebook. Jenks looks just unstoppable at 5-0. A lot of teams that are capable. Right behind there, you got Mowat 4-1, North Bay Haven's 4-1, Bayhaven Charter Academy 3-2. They're really starting to come on. Rutherford, after a 1-2 start, back to 3-2.
Nice.
Surfside, probably the hardest schedule of the year so far, 2-3. So I expect them to keep rising. BPA at 2-3, got some challenging games upcoming. We'll see how they do. And then University, Quadsie over there 1-4, Merritt Brown's 1-4, and Chase guys, the Bozeman Bucks, still fighting hard at 0-5.
Yeah, still searching for that first win of the season.
Yeah, but if you look back at some of the results from last week, let me pull these up here. The one that really stuck out to me was seeing some of the teams like Mowat and Bayhaven, right? I think they're pretty even.
Yeah.
And Mowat with a big 22-point win. So, as you know, in basketball, you can have an off day, and so maybe the shots weren't falling, but that one really surprised me. In terms of games of the week and players of the week from last week, though, I've got two so far, and I'm still waiting on a couple coaches to give me some more info. But Conley Hall over at Mowat, super player. I've been lucky to coach him in rec, and he plays with Impact on travel. Just a wonderful player, good kid, very unselfish, but don't have the exact stats, but had an absolutely phenomenal game in that win over Bayhaven. And then our other player of the week is EJ Lowe from North Bay Haven. Got to see them when they played Jenks, lost by 16, last week. That was a really good game. It was closer than it looked there for a while. Just Jenks really put it away there at the end.
And only loss of the season so far for North Bay Haven.
Yeah, and so EJ had a really phenomenal game. Jenks plays that really high pressure, physicality kind of ball, and EJ was able to handle it, although North Bay Haven couldn't overcome all the weapons that Jenks had. So big shout outs there to EJ Lowe and Conley Hall from North Bay Haven and Mowat this last week as our players of the week.
And I did mention it, the players of the week in partnership with Dave & Buster's will receive a Dave & Buster's power card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's awesome.
I think it might be good for food and drink. I don't know if it's just for
Wow,
games.
so it's a gift certificate for Dave & Buster's.
Right.
And they're about to reopen with a bunch of new stuff over there, a grand reopening tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. They've added a bunch of, you're seeing much more games where you're more virtual reality games where you're doing stuff with your body more so than, playing games.
I don't know if you want to mention that, if Liam finds out and the rest of the kids, right? Did he hear what they're giving away? So Dave & Buster's.
Oh, a year of free games.
Yeah, so the first 100 that come in, so similar to a deep or a Kansas.
Day off of school.
Yeah, I want to see if everyone's lined up outside to wait for that. So.
That'll be funny. Yeah, first 100 get 3 years worth of games. So may need to make my way over there, not for me, but for to save a couple bucks for the old kiddos. But
and when we met with them, we got a little sneak peek of it's nice. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back in there with the kids.
No doubt.
But so getting back to middle school basketball, really good season so far with the halfway point. To me, the question is, can anyone catch Jenks? Can anyone give Jenks a run? And I think they can. It'll help for the playoff teams to see them once in the regular season, although Coach Olds and Coach Jamie are very secretive, they kind of save some stuff just for the playoffs, which is smart basketball. But just looking at it, I haven't seen UA play yet, and some of the other teams that maybe we'd call in that second division or in that 6 through 10 spot. But I do think looking at the playoffs going forward, it's not going to be a cakewalk for Jenks. There will still be some teams that are going to give them a legitimate run, especially the ones that have already seen them once. So
some adjustments may be made, but and they've expanded the playoff format now, where you're not just one and done in the playoffs anymore. So you get more games. And I think we probably talked about that a couple of weeks ago or last week, and it's I like that they've done that for all the sports, because it's just gives players more games, and that's why they're playing, right, to get reps and get better at what they're doing.
Yeah, and I really want to give a shout out to Josh Lash and Josh Balcom. The changes they've made, you've seen them on the websites, right? The way they're updating the scoring, the whole presentation is just fantastic. Last year it was really tough to find that info, but they've really done a great job, not just on basketball, but everything.
Yeah.
It's the best website we've ever had in terms of data for middle school sports. So
absolutely,
big props to those guys.
Kudos to Josh as well, just continuing to kind of push the county forward with working. We got the beach volleyball coming for girls, I believe at 3 different schools. Hopefully I know flag football for girls has been approved. We haven't adopted it yet in Bay County, but it is certainly on the horizon. So cool to see Josh in there. Kind of, he was here for a while. He coached multiple sports here, went back to coach a little college basketball, and then came back to Bay County, and he's done a wonderful job since he's been back.
And both of them too, like Josh Balcom as well. Those guys have really done a lot in the last couple of years. And my personal crusade, right? We were finally playing with the 29.5 mass. I'm so excited for the boys this year. So thank you to whoever made that happen and become reality.
Seems like a no-brainer there. A no-brainer. Yeah. But yeah. And so we had a bunch of games yesterday. It was Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our middle school games both right now. You got boys basketball and girls soccer going on.
And tennis kicked off, I think, today.
Middle school tennis?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry, high school.
High school, okay. I was going to say, that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm sure pickleball is on the horizon as well, if I'm not mistaken. But
how painful monitor.
I know. I can turn it off if you want me to.
Okay. I'm going to be hearing about it all year. So.
Well, comes when you win everything, and all it takes is one loss, and then everybody jumps down your throat.
Can we put the conspiracy theory and ref thing to bed? Is that officially over?
Yeah, we talked about that at length on Monday. Just if the NFL was rigged, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
You don't have blowouts in rigged NFL. So, but it just goes to show how hard it is not only to get there, but win it each year. And, it's just one of those things.
Right.
But yeah, so yesterday we had several battles out there on the hardwood, couple close games. I know University Academy was down big time at half, but clawed back into that and gave Mowat a pretty good game in the second half.
Yeah, and Brent was actually working as a referee. For those that don't know, Brent Dillard from Southern Elite Sports, he also does middle school basketball. and he did the Surfside North Bay Haven. And so that was a really great game. North Bay Haven came out, looked like they were going to put it away, and Surfside kept scrapping, really came down to, towards the last 2 minutes and made some free throws and put it away. But props to Surfside North Bay Haven. That sounds like that was a really good game.
Yeah, absolutely. North Bay Haven new to a lot of these middle school sports.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, looking at the rest of them, Jenks handled Breakfast Point pretty comfortably, but Breakfast Point kept it within 20. I did not get the Rutherford Merritt Brown score, so I don't know exactly how that went down.
I didn't see that one on the website yet this morning.
Yeah. Bay Haven took care of business against Bozeman, and, Rutherford did beat Merritt Brown. I think that was within 10 points, someone texted me.
Okay.
But no, looking at the games coming up, right, I mentioned a couple on Games of the Week, and then Ben McGonigal hopped in, too, and had a really good take on that post. But I really think Bay Haven Jenks is going to be a solid game. Across the board, right? Even Bozeman University Academy for being that second division, that should be pretty competitive. BPA's got a tough one against North Bay Haven, and then Rutherford and Surfside should, it's one of my other games of the week. I think that's going to be fantastic. You got two really good bigs in 8th grade with LJ Tolbert from Rutherford and Ethan Bishop from Surfside. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. And is the Bay Haven Jenks game, is that at Bay Haven or is that at Jenks?
That's a good question. I
got the schedule right here because it's the left team that's the home team, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it's at Bay Haven.
Yep.
So in the gym there at Bay Haven Charter Academy.
It's Bobcats, right?
Yeah.
Bobcat country over there.
Bobcat country. That floor, you got to be careful with that floor at Bay Haven. It gets a little glossed there with whatever it is and can be a little slick.
Hey, home court advantage.
That's it. That's it. They do a good job with that, both volleyball and basketball. And that foot slides. It's a travel. So, like you said, home court advantage and making that stuff happen.
And Ryan, I wanted to ask, I haven't been in there yet. Tell us about that University Academy gym.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the first game they had, obviously the second game they played Jenks. They actually held it within 20, I think, if I'm not mistaken in that one. But their game that they had on, let's see, I got it right here. That was the close one. That was their first game at the gym against Breakfast Point Academy, and they lost 37-36 in that one, and they did have a chance for a layup and just went up a little too strong, came off the front rim, but the students packed it out. The atmosphere was great. It's a beautiful looking gym. The Jacob Fish Gymnasium, as David Hayes dubbed it, the Fish Bowl.
Nice.
But it's beautiful over there, and just a great gym, and it's cool because now the kids not only have a place to play home basketball, but during PE, and now you actually have opportunities to practice more.
Right.
Whereas that's something we've always been traveling to, First United or even a little bit at First Baptist there in the upstairs gym has always been where the girls have practiced. I'm assuming the boys practice at First United, but I don't know. But yeah, no, it's awesome, and just the whole complex now, the athletic complex at UA is pretty sweet with the turf field for soccer and the brand new gymnasium for boys and girls basketball, and then of course they'll debut volleyball there in the early fall next year, which will be a lot of fun.
And one thing, while university and basketball, boys basketball might not have the results that they're looking for, that the coolest thing about that school is they have one of the best student body supports I've seen out of all the middle schools.
Yep.
UA just really does a great job of supporting their.
And we've been wanting a home court for so long because you go play, I'm fortunate enough, my daughter's played volleyball and basketball for the last 2 years, and you go to all these other places, and when you go up against all their students and the cheerleaders and it's loud, you're like, man, we need that. And we came in full force at that first home game against BPA, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference not only for the away team, but it makes a difference for the home team as well. So something we've been wanting for a long time, and all the board, Jacob Fish, Wes Smith, the principal, Kelly Forehand, Daniel Davis, and everybody who made that come to fruition did a fantastic job.
And I just thought of this, and this is a great question. I'm going to ask David Hayes, too, if he's with us. But for you, and you've gone to a lot of the gyms and watched a lot of games, a lot of the soccer fields, a lot of the volleyball fields, right? Who do you think, give me your top 2, top 3 in terms of home attendance, and it's a tough place to play? Who has a really good environment at home for middle school sports here? And let's talk basketball.
Yeah, okay, basketball specific, and I only really have a sample of girls basketball. I would put Mowat and Jenks kind of back to back there. It always got real loud, real excited. Now the cheerleaders had a lot to do with that as well, but yeah, I would say those two. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other ones. Surfside was always a tough place to play as well. Surfside in volleyball, but they're 5 or 6 time defending county champions in volleyball. So, but yeah, I would probably say, and Jenks is a beautiful brand new gym by way of the Hurricane, unfortunately, but a beautiful facility there. They even got a weight room there too, which is smart and pretty impressive.
It shows on the court. Look at their kids.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And got to get that. Got to get in the weight room. But yeah, I would say Jenks and Mowat in certain situations. Those are the two that come to my mind.
So for me, the last 3 years of watching middle school games, definitely Jenks, especially the big games. They packed it out. I got a surprise one for you. Bayhaven does a great job of packing that gym.
They do.
It's packed, it's loud. So props to Kalam and all the guys out there. They're really doing a great job in terms of that school spirit. It's fun to watch and go to a game there.
Yeah, no doubt. We're trying to because the boys basketball team played Mowat yesterday at 2 p.m. and I guess they get all their middle school students to come to the game. So we're trying to make that happen for girls soccer. Wes, Daniel, anybody listening? I know our head coach at soccer has already kind of asked. We'd love to play a 2 p.m. game and get all the middle school students out there on the field. That'd certainly be a lot of fun for the girls who are having a fantastic season. They haven't given up a goal yet, and they've mercy ruled 3 out of their first 5 opponents.
What's the mercy rule? 5?
8. Yeah,
Woo.
8. Yeah, and had another big victory yesterday against North Bayhaven, 7-0 in that one. So they're firing on all cylinders and trying to defend that county championship. So
who do you see? Just a tangent. Who do you see as the soccer front runner? Is it UA?
Yeah, it's UA. Bayhaven played us close in a 1-0 game, but Bayhaven, to their credit, lost a lot of 8th graders that were on their team last year because that's who UA and Bayhaven played in the county championship last year, and it went to overtime and then went to PKs, and Emma Krelling made a fantastic save to win the county championship for her. But Bayhaven and UA have always kind of been, at least in the recent years, been the two going back and forth because there's so many girls that play on club together but then go to different schools. Yeah. So it's kind of a rivalry, but then at the same time there's a lot of friendships and stuff like that too, which is pretty cool to see on the field.
But we've talked about in the past, either rec leagues or travel leagues. It's really cool for the kids to play against each other in middle school and then play together in the summer and the off season. So I love that aspect of it.
No doubt. And that bleeds all the way up into high school as well. So some of the games coming up tomorrow night. Let's see. I've got them right here. We got UA will be traveling up 77 there to Bozeman. Mowat will be traveling to Merritt Brown. As Chris already said, some of the games to keep an eye on. Jenks is playing at Bayhaven, as he mentioned. That is a tough place to play. And volleyball, basketball, every time we've been there, it's been tough. I kind of forgot about that one because we've had so many heartbreaks happen there. So I tried to kind of get it out of my mind. But yes, Bayhaven is certainly a tough place to play. And that's where the Wrestling versus Cancer number 10 just took place.
Okay.
And David Hayes was in the ring on that one, getting his wrestling debut.
And I don't even know what's your alter ego or what's the name of your wrestler.
What's that?
What do you have a character? What's the name of it?
No, I don't have a character.
Mighty David Hayes.
I was a manager for one of the wrestlers, just as David Hayes, because we were promoting the show, and then one of the guys pulled me into the ring, so I had to hit him with the diamond cutter, man.
Was your guy the heel or the hero? Your
I got ejected out of the match after doing that, but we were a face. We were the hero, if you will.
I gotcha. Did that happen to newbies after the match too? Or
no, I don't. I don't go.
I know. I'm playing.
That was a different match. That was a different match. Oh goodness! And then 2 more. You got North Bayhaven going over to Breakfast Point, and then Surfside Rutherford, which you said should be another good matchup there with some bigs on both of those teams. So it's crazy. Some of these kids in middle school, over 6'4", 6'5". Like, where are they growing these kids? And don't even play flag football.
I mean, to your point, right? We had travel tryouts last Saturday. Had a really good group come out. 6'7", 6'7", 6'6". This is 9th grade.
That's insane. They're growing. It's like these people overseas now. They're how many 7-foot-plus people are there out there?
I think kid from Florida's 7'9".
He's ridiculous. Yeah, he doesn't even have to. He just boop. Right.
I saw him do the Mikan drill, and he's literally just.
Yep. It's now again. You're not the most agile and fast person at that size, but still, to have kids in middle school, 8th grade, 9th grade, pushing over 6'5", I feel like as long as they're somewhat athletic, basketball is going to be a good future for them.
Yeah.
How's Kurt doing?
He's good. Arnold just wrapped up their season. Quick shout out to Coach Green, Coach Wolf, Coach Ross. Those guys are done, but really had good seasons.
Yeah.
Coach Ross kind of struggled, had a really young team, but I'm telling you, Rutherford's coming. They've got some great freshmen and sophomores.
Rutherford's kind of coming in all sports, it seems. They're getting back to they obviously were a powerhouse many years ago, and obviously when new schools opened, that kind of thinned out, and they also took a big dip in population because of the hurricane, but they seem to be kind of getting everything back, moving in the right direction. Obviously, the girls basketball team the last 2 years has been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so great.
No, you know what's funny is, remember last year when we were doing middle school basketball, we talked about what was the word we used, matriculating up to high school level, right? And you're seeing that. I mean, a lot of the Mosley is a pretty. They had 3 really solid seniors starting and some really good juniors on that team. But if you look at like Rutherford, you look at Bay. Granted, they've got some great seniors and upperclassmen, but Arnold, all of them, the upperclassmen is excited, or the lower class and the freshmen, sophomores. I'm telling you, high school basketball, another year or two, we're going to have some incredibly great classes. Port St. Joe, Blountstown, Graceville, leading scorers are all sophomore and freshmen, as far as I know. But I'm excited about that. This area is going to do some things. Even this year, we're still rolling, but next year or two, I really expect Bay County schools to do something at the state level.
Well, and right, and it's a testament, we talk about this all the time, to going all the way down to those youth leagues, the rec leagues, the development leagues, the travel leagues, like that. You have to, if we're going to continue these pipelines in all sports, you've got to keep that going and play as many sports as you can as well, because the more different things you're doing, the more motor skills, only the better it's going to work out for you in the long run. And then obviously when you get to high school, you start to kind of specialize a little bit there. But
and on that point, right, let's give a shout out to North Bay Haven for boys volleyball getting started.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
I played volleyball growing up. I would love to see the boys on the middle school and high school level get going.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something I've talked about. I've always asked questions like, because I would have loved to play.
You and I, we coached together in volleyball. We love volleyball. I would
have loved to play volleyball growing up, but it was like either in California or the Midwest, and maybe you had it in high school, but for the most part, it was AAU. But to see that get going, not really sure who they're going to be playing yet. Obviously, probably traveling around a little bit, but you got the beach volleyball now for the girls, boys volleyball coming in at North Bay Haven. So yeah, kudos to Durham and everybody over there doing a wonderful job, continuing to add to all these sports and different things here in Bay County. Chris, I know you got to get to some other meetings. You got a lot going on this month, a lot of different events going on, but we appreciate you keeping everybody updated out there about the middle school boys basketball, and I'm looking forward to not coaching and watching you coach some of our youngsters here in the spring season. But appreciate you coming on. Again, if anybody, what do they need to do to, the Power Cards will be at Dave & Buster's.
I'm going to go pick them up. Let's say I'll have them in the studio Monday for past players and going forward. I'll have all of them here.
Okay, awesome. Sounds great. Chris, appreciate your time as
always.
Thanks
for having us, Ryan. Thanks, David.
Yeah, look forward to hearing how everything went on Thursday and updated standings coming up.
All right, man. Have a great weekend.
You guys listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
It's the ESPN Northwest Florida Hall & Hearts Magic Express.
Hey, Sean, you just won the Hall & Hearts Magic Express to see the Orlando Magic play at the Kia Center.
Oh, my goodness.
You're riding the Magic Express for the ultimate road trip.
I'm in shock right now.
Sponsored by PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hall & Hearts, and Fairfield Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Turf
Pro Lawn and Pest Control. They take pride in caring for their customers' property by providing lawn and whole house pest control. Whether you have roaches or any other unwanted bugs in your home, Turf Pro has you covered. Or if your lawn needs weed control, fertilize, insect control, Turf Pro has you covered by providing custom treatments to meet your property's needs. No property is the same, so why should it be treated that way? Turf Pro, where the blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Call 850-890-5820.
If you're not scanning while the cashier is begging, we're judging you a little.
Why am I working at the grocery store now?
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios at ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Let's keep that basketball talk going, but this time we're going to pivot all the way up to men's top 25 college basketball, as we had several games on the docket last night, including those Auburn Tigers who struggled. I don't want to say struggled, but Vanderbilt hung tight in that first half. Halftime, the score was just 34-32, and Vanderbilt kind of kept it close most of that second half. And then, as expected, Auburn kind of started to pull away a little bit there. Ended up final score 80-68. Kind of surprising. You know, obviously, Janai Broome, he had a lot of points kind of late in the game. He played 30 minutes. He had 17 total points. But the two gentlemen that kind of led the Auburn Tigers, one of the bench guys, and, one of the guys had a good season. But, they needed some scoring from some elsewhere, and it certainly came with Chaney Johnson. He was 9 of 10 from the field, including 1 of 2 from three-point, and he had 20 total points. And then Denver Jones was 7 of 10, and he was 5 of 7 from three-point, including making his first 5 three-pointers. So 41 points out of the 80 coming from those two gentlemen. Like I said, Janai Broome had 17 points. So nice to see some scoring coming from some I want to say role players with the Auburn Tigers, but that's what's so special about this particular team is you can get scoring from anywhere, including from the true freshman guard Tahad Pettiford, who had 9 in the game, but some crucial points down the stretch. And like I said, Vanderbilt hung in tight there for a long time as they've upset a couple teams so far this season, but Auburn just proved to be too strong down the stretch. And then guess what? Those number 2 Crimson Tide.
What they do last night?
They got over a C note again. It's kind of their thing.
They have the most all year.
I would imagine they're leading.
Definitely in the league. Yeah. In the SEC, they definitely do. I think that's their 7th game all year that's over 100. You talk about a team that's got depth. That's what's going to be so interesting this Saturday between Auburn and Alabama, is both teams have a ton of depth. And
rotate.
It was Jaron Stevenson's night last night, but really I think they had 4 or 5 guys over 15 points. I watched the whole game, and I was actually watching Kentucky and Tennessee rather than Auburn and Vanderbilt. And I meant to switch over and catch the tail end of the Auburn-Vanderbilt game because I really did want to watch them. But Janai Broome, from the highlights that I saw, that guy is just absolutely amazing. And, Alabama is back to Alabama. They're almost impossible to beat when they're on front. They shot 60% from three-point last night.
Yep.
Any team, I don't care.
And almost 62% from the field overall,
in general,
and then 90% from the free throw line.
18 to 20.
That's a trifecta right there. That is very, very challenging.
And Texas, for the first 5 minutes was hanging tough with them, and then after that, a couple of turnovers. And Alabama turned the ball over a lot last night. They've been turning the ball over a lot. But when you can shoot the three at such a high rate, this game between number 1 and number 2 Alabama coming up this Saturday on ESPN Northwest Florida, coverage starting at 2:30, 3 p.m. tip, is gonna be something to behold.
No doubt. First time in SEC history that the two teams will be playing each other with the number 1 and number 2 ranking. But yeah, Alabama, a lot of balanced scoring, including, like you said, 3 players from the bench, all in double digits. Muhammad Diabate had 13. LeBaron Aaron Philon had 15. And
He's fun to watch.
And then former Auburn Tiger Aiden Holloway had 18 points off the bench. And, of course, Mark Sears, one of the best players in the country, had 18 as well.
I'm glad we got Aiden Holloway, but it should be a league. Like, you should not be able to transfer from Auburn to Alabama or Alabama to Auburn without sitting out a year.
Yeah.
Let the play.
Just have a specific rule for that.
Yeah, like, well, in Ohio State, Michigan, like, if you're a rival, you should not be allowed to play for your other rival the very next year. That's just despicable.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, of course, for Texas in the loss, Trey Johnson, who's one of the best scorers in the league. He's averaging 19.3 points per game. Had a great game trying to keep Texas in that one with 24 total points. Some other top 25 games that transpired last night. It was a good docket of college basketball last night. Florida and Mississippi State. Florida continues their winning ways. Mississippi State tried to make it interesting for Florida as they did have the lead going into halftime, but then Florida kind of put the clamp down on defense and got the offense really going in the second half and outscored them 48-34 in the second half for a final score of 81-68. The Florida Gators, we were talking about that really tall kid. Is he even playing right now?
I don't know. I haven't. I watched a few minutes of Florida basketball this year. I believe when they played Tennessee earlier on. But outside of that, I haven't seen him. Heard about him, but I haven't seen him.
I don't think he's playing yet. And if somebody knows, please correct me. But you would think you would just be able, because I've watched Florida play multiple times this year, and you would
stick out like a sore thumb.
No doubt. Well, I remember when I was in college, we'd go to all the home Coastal Carolina basketball games, and there was a player for UNC Asheville that was in a similar situation. He was like 7'4", 7'5", something like that, and you knew where he was at all times, and he didn't have to jump to get to that hoop. There's no doubt about that. All right, so Florida continues their winning ways. They're now 21-3, 8-3 in the SEC. And then we did have an upset in the SEC last night, the game that David mentioned there. I don't know if you want to call it an upset because two top 25 teams, Kentucky ranked 15th, Tennessee ranked 5th. Kentucky got out ahead, had a good solid first half, and paired that with a good second half, and ended up winning that one 75-64. So the Kentucky Wildcats now 6-5 in the SEC. Tennessee drops to 7-5 in the SEC after that loss. Moving over there to the Big Ten, another upset. 20 versus 7. I don't know how much of an upset that really is when you have two teams inside the top 20, but an upset nonetheless. Michigan Wolverines improve now to 19-5, 11-2 in the Big Ten with a 75-73 victory over the Purdue Boilermakers, who are now 19-6, 11-3 in the Big Ten. Georgia tried all they could against the Texas A&M Aggies. They were out to a solid lead at halftime, 32-23, but Texas A&M came back strong in the second half to outscore Georgia by more than double with a final score of 69-53. Texas A&M, number 8 in the country, now improves to 8-3 in the SEC. Some other top 25 scores: Iowa State beat UCF 77-65. Indiana upset number 11 Michigan State 71-67.
Tom Izzo would have passed Bob Knight last night
because I know he tied this past weekend.
How about that though? Like Indiana keeping Tom Izzo from passing one of the greatest coaches in Indiana history.
Yep, no doubt. That's probably had some motivation on that one, I would think, keeping him off there. Number 13 fell as well. Kansas State's kind of on a little run right now. I know they beat Kansas this past weekend and just took down number 13th ranked Arizona. Kansas State, although two big victories the last two games, only 7-6 in the Big 12. Arizona drops to 11-2 in the Big 12. Speaking of those Rock Chalk Jayhawks, they took care of business against the lowly Colorado Buffaloes, 71-59. Colorado has still not found a win in conference play for the Big 12. The Marquette Golden Eagles beat DePaul. I want to say they're the I don't know what that logo is. The DePaul Demons. I don't know.
Actually, you might be.
Really? That'd be the DePaul Blue Demons.
Yeah.
The picture kind of looks scary, so. But who would have known that? You got the Demon Deacons and you got the Blue Deacons. Can't think of any other demons out there.
The Blue Deacons.
The Blue Deacons. There you go. But yes, Marquette took down the DePaul Blue Demons 68-58. Marquette is 18th in the country. The Creighton Blue Jays They fell in Big East play to the back-to-back defending national champion UConn Huskies, 70-66. Kind of rounding out your top 25 action from yesterday. Do have some more coming up tonight. Nothing too crazy. You got St. John's. They're number 9. They're taking on Villanova. That's a Big East matchup. St. John has only lost once in the Big East. Ole Miss versus South Carolina. Some SEC action. It's weird to say this. Cal at Duke for some ACC action.
Yeah, that is weird.
It just sounds funny. Texas Tech, 12th in the country, hosting Arizona State. Texas Tech 9-3 in the Big 12. And then the only other game featuring a top 25 team is an SEC matchup with the Oklahoma Sooners traveling to Columbia, Missouri to take on those Missouri Tigers. And obviously we'll talk about it as we get towards the end of the week, but as David said, we've got some big time games coming up this Saturday, including number 1 Auburn versus number 2 Alabama with SEC lead on the line. Winner of that game will be your SEC leader, but they've got to play each other one more time, so whoever loses that game will have a chance to get some redemption at the end of the season. They never put spreads out on college. Do you know why they always wait till like the morning of to do spreads in college basketball?
Probably to not give the bettors any advantage. I have no idea.
It's such a weird, I get one game a week. College basketball, you're typically at least 2 games a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always trying to see what these early lines are, but there's never any early lines on college basketball.
And is that just Hard Rock, or is that...
I think it's ESPN Bet, too. I mean, there may be on, like, FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff, but...
I don't know. I think typically when I look on ESPN for the games ahead, I don't think that there's spreads.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's none.
Yep. So... I don't know. There's probably some answer to the rhyme or reason behind that, but I certainly don't know it. In addition to that Auburn-Alabama big-time matchup, you've also got another top 15 matchup with Houston and Arizona. The Commodores of Vanderbilt will take it on number 5 Tennessee, trying to have another upset. And then Mississippi State, Ole Miss, both ranked in the top 25, the Egg Bowl of college basketball coming up this weekend. So as we've quickly pivoted from football season to basketball season, it's really heating up. And I've really enjoyed watching college basketball this year. And I don't know if it's just because I do this now, but I really seem to enjoy watching these games a lot more. And yeah, it's got a lot of fun ones coming up this weekend.
It helps when the team that you're rooting for is the best team in the
no
nation
doubt. But
as
I've
well.
watched a lot of other games too, to see how, some of these players are. And that's what's, football, they're bouncing around, and they bounce around a good bit in basketball too, but a lot of these teams, you're seeing them players for a couple years, and you're seeing players come back because of NIL and the opportunity to make probably more money than you would going into the NBA draft. But Duke Blue Devils playing, I mentioned they were playing Cal coming up tonight on Saturday. They'll try to keep their one-loss record alive in the ACC going against Stanford, which is just still so weird.
Who's got one loss?
Duke has one loss in the ACC. 12-1, and 20-3 overall. And Cooper Flagg's right up there with Janai Broom is the 1-2s for that player of the year. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, it'll be time for our afternoon delight debrief. I've got a couple. Hopefully, Jay will be back tomorrow. Maybe he's got some real debriefs for us from his real life.
Oh, I think I read about one yesterday that I can bring up to us.
Perfect. That sounds great. You guys listen to the Inside Drive Afternoon Delight Debrief coming up next.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Eagles win because?
Rage. Lots of rage. With all the scenarios surrounding the Chiefs right now, what better way to put a team out than to win because you're fueled by rage and just blind fury? I would love to absolutely see it happen. I mean, you guys are making great points, but I just want to talk mental game.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a high of 75 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the south. A variety of very light rain and some clouds tonight, a moderate breeze and quite warm near 68. A chance of thunderstorms and 72 tomorrow. 69 and some sun with a gentle breeze Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and Hometown Towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Love is in the air at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, and what better way to celebrate love than with a beautiful piece of jewelry? Our Valentine collection combines the most popular trends and top sellers with the largest selection at the best prices. From exquisite fine jewelry to our most trendy and affordable sterling silver pieces, we're sure to have the perfect gift to melt her heart. Folks have trusted us for 50 years to make their Valentine sparkle. This year, make it sparkle even more with a gift from Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
From the fairway to the rough.
Was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes before this rain starts.
From the greens to the bunker.
Certainly, Your Eminency.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The good Lord would never disrupt the best game of my life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. SportsCenter Top 10 plays. It's so cool to see so many, I want to call them home videos, but you just get so many of these crazy plays that happen in high school, middle school. Sometimes you even see rec sports making SportsCenter Top 10, which is pretty darn cool. But you guys are listening to the Inside Drive, 104.3 here in Panama City Beach, Panama City, all the surrounding areas in Bay County and beyond. And then, of course, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. I do know it's a beautiful day out there today. A little windy, potentially some weather coming in late this evening past 11 o'clock with some potential thunderstorms up until about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So just make sure you've got ways to stay weather aware as we could have some severe weather coming through. It doesn't look like a really enhanced level, but certainly something to keep an eye on. And the showers will kind of be dissipating as the day goes on tomorrow. If you want to watch it after the fact, you can head over to our social channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You can find everything. We appreciate if you like them, follow them, subscribe, and of course, if you'd share the shows too, we'd greatly appreciate that. You can also head over to your Apple Store or Google Play Store, search 104.3, and you'll find the ESPN Northwest Florida app. That'll keep you going when you leave and need to hear us wherever, and not just us, but also the great programming we have here on ESPN Northwest Florida as well. We start with the Coach James Hale Show, which is live and local, and that moves on to the Dan Patrick Show. And then we've got the Inside Drive here from 11 to 1, and that switches to Colin Coward, and then Greeny at 3, and then, of course, the Afternoon Underdogs, another live and local show from 4 to 6 p.m. You can listen to all that right on the ESPN Northwest Florida app. If you're tired of paying high prices for streaming services and you want to save some money, do what our good friend Travis did and switch to Lucid Streams TV. Want to know how to find it? Just go to ESPNPC.com. Scroll down till you see that TV channel icon. That is Lucid Streams TV. Over 10,000 movies on demand, over 2,000 streaming channels, including local news, local sports, all the major professional sports games, all the pay-per-view events, literally anything you could want to watch is on Lucid Streams TV. Again, cable was the really expensive thing. Then we all switched to streaming, and now streaming is getting up there just as expensive as cable used to be. But for $42 a month, you can also enjoy Lucid Streams TV. Also want to give a shout out to our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They're located right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street, 2251 West 23rd Street to be exact. If you want to give the dealership a call, that's 850-250-1403. Tons of vehicles in stock, express service, regular service, tires at cost. You just need a quick oil change. Doesn't matter if you have a GM car or not. You can take your vehicle over there to Bill Kramer GM. They will make it easy and take great care of you. A little breezy out there today, but the warm, beautiful weather is on the horizon. We'll definitely get cold a few more times, probably several more times, as we usually have one more frost right around before Easter. But this is the time of year if you need any work done on your boat, or if you're just looking to buy a boat and enjoy the spring and summer down here in Panama City Beach. Only one place to go there. That is Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They're a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer. They've got Yamaha Master Certified mechanics on staff. They sell the family of CRI boats. That's Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and
Skeeter.
You can check out all that new and used boat inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. And, of course, always remember, you don't have to go to them. They'll come to you with their mobile service to get you back out on the water ASAP. Give them a call, 850-851-0453. All right, David Hayes, you want me to start out with a little afternoon delight debrief here? I'm going to start with recently named MVP as of last Thursday night, Josh Allen. Likely celebrating. Obviously, he wasn't playing in the Super Bowl, so he had some time on his hands, likely celebrating with a round of golf. But Josh Allen once had a 72-hole golf bender that lasted 48 hours. Back in, when was this? This was earlier vacation prior to the start of last year's season. He joined Casey Bannon, who is a brand manager of the Golfers Journal in Georgia last March, for a jam-packed weekend of golf at some of the nicest resorts in the United States. They began at Sea Island, which is a beautiful facility. A lot of professionals are actually members there because it's such a good place to play and practice. Their performance center, which I've had the pleasure of touring before, is as state-of-the-art and as fantastic as they get. They've also got a huge full-scale club operation where they build clubs for members, PGA players, whatever it may be. Just a beautiful facility there at Sea Island. But anyway, he and Bannon arrived to play 18 holes on one of the 3 championship courses at Sea Island in the morning. Immediately after they finished the first round, Allen rushed over to the nearest UPS store to handle some business. The Bills presented their 28-year-old quarterback with a restructured contract that opened up $16.7 million in cap space. He, while on vacation, needed to sign and return the contract to Buffalo prior to the start of the new league year. See, they're just like us. We got to run to the UPS store and sign and send stuff off and whatever it may be. So even these guys were paid lucrative amounts of money, and some of the highest profile athletes in the world still have to swing by the UPS store to get chores done.
Yeah, they could also pay someone to do it if they wanted to.
If they wanted to, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But good on them for being normal.
Yeah. But with that minor little detail out of the way, Allen drove back over to Sea Island to play another 18 holes with Bannon in the afternoon. That itself was a full day. Most people would call it quits after 36 holes. Not Allen. He took advantage of the private range at the King Cottage and hit balls until 1 a.m. 6 hours later, Allen was back on the range at 7 a.m., but his driver didn't feel right. Bannon heard him say that it was too spinny, so he ran over to the Performance Center for a driver fitting at 8 a.m. As soon as that was done, Allen got back into the car to go play at the Ohupi Match Club, another top 100 course located about 2 hours away. He finished that day with 2 additional rounds of golf. And to make his 48-hour, 72-hole adventure even better, Bannon says Josh Allen was a class act the entire time. At no point did he make the conversation about himself or football. All of the staff were tipped nicely. The most valuable player of the 2024-25 NFL season apparently cannot get enough golf.
Hey, there you go, man.
72
Needs
holes.
to become a baseball pitcher.
Yeah, there you go. You actually can do that in part of your rotation when you're not in it. You go play some golf. Braves were famous for that. Mm-hmm. All those guys. And, keeps them focused. But what you got, David Hayes?
All right, I've got a story from down there in Cape Coral, Florida. A Florida woman was arrested. This is from WJHG, but out of Cape Coral, Florida. Florida woman was arrested after accidentally hitting a tree with her car in a TJ Maxx parking lot and then leaving the scene. The charges have since been dropped. She is now speaking out about the emotional impact of the incident. Yaneli Guzman says that she was pulling into a parking spot ahead of her Christmas Eve shift over there at TJ Maxx when she felt a bump. She shortly after that, Guzman realized that she had a low-hanging tree branch hovering over the first parking spot. She spoke to her manager about the incident, but he didn't know what to do. Other people she talked to advised her to contact the Cape Coral Police Department. When she met up with a police officer in January, the officer did something she never expected. He arrested her and charged her with a hit and run. Yep. Guzman says that the officer told her she should have left her name, car registration number, and her phone number in a note hanging in the tree, like someone would have paid any attention to that. He then handcuffed her and drove her to jail, where she got a mugshot taken, and then she had to pay $150 to bail out of jail. The police department said in a statement that the incident met the criteria for a hit and run. They added it's ultimately up to the state attorney's office to decide whether to charge the driver. According to Florida law, a person who strikes a tree on private property and leaves the scene can face up to 6 months behind bars and a fine. There's also a chance the person could get 2 points on his or her license. Guzman says that the state attorney's office dropped the charges for insufficient evidence. Okay, but she still has to pay close to $4,300 in legal fees and car repairs. What cannot be dropped is the emotional toll this incident has had on her.
Yeah, she had to spend some nights spend a night in the old jail.
Probably not a whole night. Probably just
depending on what day of the week it was. When she could see the judge.
There is all of that. I would imagine that once they brought her in, they were able to get her bailed out pretty quick for a $150 bail fee. But but the emotional toll that does go with that, the embarrassment that comes along with that as well, is something. And that's why, look, man, like all of this, she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough issue. That tree was just fine. It's not like she broke the tree in half or did anything nefarious to the tree. And honestly, the private property owner should be in charge of taking care of that limb, so that if there's a parking spot there, then my car can go in that parking spot.
Yeah.
I hate this. I feel like the officer, this is one of those reasons why officers get a bad rap and not, you know.
Yeah, he could have
just one of the. He could have handled this and maybe call your superior and say, "Hey, what should I do in this situation?" Yeah. She's turning herself in, essentially, not even turning herself in.
Who in their right mind would think, scraping a tree in a parking spot would be against the law?
Right, did more damage to my car than what I did to the tree. So yeah, it's and then just a weird situation. And one of those things, man. We just people should not be going to jail for stuff that does not harm anyone else.
No.
And just, I don't know. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, what in the world do we have going on?
I'm embarrassed for Florida. I feel like that should be a California story.
Yeah, right? That should, for us, it should have been like, hit a bear or something.
Yeah, you know? Alligator.
That bear was in the midst of wrestling an anaconda, and then the gator came up out of the pond and got there,
Oh, goodness. Company offers $45 per fish bounty on 27,000 escaped salmon. So for some quick math here with my phone, 27,000 times 45, if you can catch all of them, will get you a cool $1.215 million. Continuing on with the story, a seafood company that lost about 27,000 salmon from a fish farm off the coast of Norway is offering a bounty of about $45 per fugitive fish caught. Maui, the largest producer of farmed salmon, said in about a quarter of its 105,000 escaped salmon Sunday night from a fish farm in Troms and entered the waters of northwest Norway. The company said the fence separating the farm from open waters was damaged by stormy weather in the area. The company called on registered fishing professionals in the country to bring any of the fugitive salmon caught to the designated reception centers, where they were paid about $45 per fish. Vegard Owen Hatton of the Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries said companies are normally allowed to conduct recapture operations within 1,640 feet of their facilities. Not 1,641, but specifically 1,640. But Maui was ordered to expand the range of its search for the missing salmon due to the massive scale of the escape. Experts said the fish could pose a major risk to wild salmon in the area. They say escaped salmon compete for the same spawning grounds and could spread infection such as sea lice. What is that?
Sea lice?
Is that an FTD?
Fish transmitted disease.
Sounds like what they're worried about there. The farm salmon and the wild salmon competing for some spawning action there. But experts also said studies have found interbreeding between wild and captive salmon leads to offspring with a much lower survival rate. $45 per salmon.
there you go.
Not
man.
bad. You get you 100 of those bad boys, and that's not a bad little payday.
Yeah, but we just can't get them around here, though.
No, you just have to go to Norway.
Norway.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so if I catch 45 of them, that might pay for my plane ticket and lodging while I'm over there.
Yeah. You just got to get there and catch them, and then, do all
and hope that I'm getting 45 of them.
Right. Absolutely.
But I imagine the way that salmon swim, you could just throw a little net over
swim
there.
in schools.
Yeah.
And, they swim upstream, right? Over here in the.
Actually, I don't know. I never caught no salmon.
I have had the pleasure of catching some salmon when I was a youngster.
Fly fishing?
One time fly fishing, but also we were up there in kind of the Vancouver, Alaska area, and we went out into the bays or whatever they call them and caught some salmon. That's where I watched the first guide bop a fish on the head with a bat.
What did you do that for?
To kill the fish. To put it out of its misery, I guess.
Gotcha.
Rather than just letting it flop around till it suffocated.
There you go.
Just going,
yeah, I was watching this dude. He was getting, the pleco fish that you have in your aquarium, and people will release them when they get too big, and that's not great for the environment because they can really mess up the environments that you put them into. And he would catch the fish, and then he would just take them and slam him on the boat, because he's killing them anyways. But then what was odd to me is he just throws them back into the water all right. I guess he's food for something, but those seem like some hard fish to eat. Maybe the gators would be. Yeah. And they'd be in love with that.
I don't know. Sometimes, too, when they're not real swimming around and flopping, other fish don't like to
gators, though, I imagine.
Gators, they're like turkey vultures. They'll eat anything. Anything that tastes good. Coyote rescued from nearly empty retention pond in California. February 11th, animal rescuers in California came to the assistance of a coyote that wandered out into a retention pond and was able to climb back out. The SPCA Montgomery County said rescuers responded to a call about a coyote stranded in mostly empty retention pond in Salinas. He had likely ventured into the pond chasing prey or looking for water and became stuck, unable to climb the slick, steep sides, the SPCA said in a Facebook post. The coyote was captured after a brief chase and taken to the SPCA Wildlife Center for assessment. The canine spent some time drying off at the Wildlife Center before being released back into the wild. We got coyotes around here, too.
Yeah.
You can hear them sometimes at night. You gotta be careful.
You just go up there and pet them. Just like a dog. You just gotta tell them to sit first, and then once you get them to shake, then they're good.
There is a place where you can hang out with wolves. Is that in Mariana?
I think I know that we have a big cat facility over there, kind of west of here. But I imagine there would be a wolf sanctuary. That would be kind of cool.
As long as they didn't turn on you.
Well, I would hope that did.
Chipley. It's the Seacrest Wolf Preserve.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I'd want to do
it's got a 4.7 on Google out of 566 rankings.
Well, there you go.
That's pretty. Apparently, no one's been.
I'd want to go do the big cat one, though.
That'd be cool, too. But yeah, these wolves are. You don't realize how big a wolf is until you see them. I mean, they're massive. Bigger than Great Danes.
Yeah, coyotes aren't really they're big, but they're a wolf is. Whew. That'll take your breath away, literally, if it bites you.
Well, yeah. Maybe too soon on that one. But let's see if I got any other good UPI stories here. Okay, here we go. Minnesota man plays fastest round of disc golf. We talk about regular golf
that hard,
all the time. Minnesota man who considers himself a recreational disc golf player broke a world record in the sport of completing a full 18-hole round of disc golf in 4 minutes and 58.76 seconds. Jonathan Wolfraff, 30, set the record attempt combined two of his favorite recreational sports, disc golf and running. If running and disc golf had a baby, it would be me, Wolfraff told Guinness World Records. So the universe whispered to me to do this record. He sounds a little cocky.
A little cocky and crazy. Yeah. The universe whispered, run and throw that disc.
Yes, play a non-traditional game.
You can do it.
He went to the course in Friedley and broke the record for the fastest round of disc disc golf individual category in 4 minutes 58.76 seconds, besting the previous record of 7 minutes and 29.87 seconds. Despite his apparent skills at the sport, Wolfrath said he only considers himself to be a recreational player. In the United States, it's a very social sport where everyone just hangs out with their friends, drinking and playing disc golf, he said. Wolfrath said he isn't finishing attempting world records in the realm of disc golf. Look out for more disc golf holes, look out for the most disc golf holes played in 24 hours. That is mine, he said.
Staying up for 24 hours just playing disc golf.
To break a world record. Yeah.
Hey, whatever drives you and whatever, if the universe is whispering to you, you better answer that call or else.
Man, no doubt.
That could be it for you.
You could be on the wrong side of
my whisper says the Grim Reaper's on its way.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Not good. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, I'm actually going to kind of fill in for Jay Henley's shoes a little bit and talk a little bit about some golf action that you may or may not know that may help your game out in the future, in addition to previewing the Genesis Invitational coming up this weekend over there at Torrey Pines. First time in a long time you've played the same golf course in an early schedule on the PGA Tour. You listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Wednesday's weather. The rest of the day, there will be a moderate breeze out of the south, some clouds and 74. A variety of light sprinkles and some clouds tonight, about the same at 68. Tomorrow, a chance of thunderstorms and a gentle breeze right around 10 miles per hour with a high of 72. About the same at 69 Friday, and we'll have some sun. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Breeze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar. La, 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 la.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're hanging out here, having some fun. Hopefully Jay Henley will be back with us tomorrow. We talked a little bit about the Four Nations face-off getting started tonight. Canada versus Sweden. Going to be a lot of fun in that one. It's kind of like watching an all-star game, but where they actually really care a lot about the game and representing their country. And we're off to another PGA Tour event starting this week. I'll be joining Keith Fleming here sometime soon on a Fantasy Six-Pack Golf Show. But we got the Genesis Invitational coming up this week, and currently Tiger Woods will not be playing in his own event. This is a signature event, as he is still
surprise.
Well, he's still dealing with his. Kind of like.
But I guess my biggest issue with it is a week ago he said he was playing in the event
after it already happened. His mom had already passed.
Oh, that's right. This is an injury. This is with his mom.
He just said he wasn't ready mentally yet,
and I don't blame him. That's a tough situation. I mean, I don't know what it's like to lose my mom, but I've been dealing with similar situations as of late. So, yeah, to stay mentally focused is absolutely, paramount, right, on the golf course. So, yeah, I forgot that it was an injury that he was pulled out for this.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is his tournament. It's one he's been hosting for a long time, and it is a signature event, so it's a small field as well. But one of the kind of anomalies about this particular event is it's not going to be played at Riviera Country Club because, unfortunately, Riviera Country Club was severely damaged by the wildfires out there in California. So they had to move this to Torrey Pines, and Torrey Pines is where they just played the Farmers Insurance Open, which the golf course played extremely difficult in that particular tournament, with Harris English winning with a score of 8 under par, which doesn't usually happen on the PGA Tour. But seeing some of the videos from the way they got the course set up, I think it's going to play just as difficult as it did before. Scotty Scheffler currently is got the best odds at 4-1 to win the tournament. No surprise there. Second with the best odds is Rory McIlroy. He's 6.5.